Hello. I'm going to do a review of the new Fort Scott Munitions 80 grain plus P round. So far, I haven't seen any YouTube videos on this, so I thought I might as well do one. Hate to disappoint you, there's not going to be any shooting footage in this video, but I'm going to try to make it short and sweet as to not bore anybody. I tested it in two barrel lengths, a 3-inch and a 9-inch. Out of the 3-inch PPS, I got an average of 1,420 feet per second. This is a 3-shot average. This ammo is very expensive, $1.43 a round. I'm not doing 10-shot averages for you guys, I'm sorry. 1,420 feet per second, which is 360 foot-pounds and a power factor of 114. Now, I've tested the standard pressure version of this round many years ago, and it was not powerful enough to cycle the Walther PPS. But this new plus P stuff will. Although the recoil is still quite mild. Out of my 9-inch KP9, I got an average of 1,775 feet per second, which is pretty fast. Power factor of 142, and that's about 550 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. That's quite a bit for a 9mm round. Overall, as you can see, the recoil in both cases was on the milder end of things. The next thing everybody wants to know about, of course, is armor, right? Does it go through armor? That's the only reason anybody's interested in this ammo. The armor that I happen to have is these old level 2 surplus. It was a police surplus vest, which I had cut up at one point to make side panels for a plate carrier. Yes, COVID was a strange time. But I decided to test 2 of them, and if it didn't go through 2, then I would test 1, and if that didn't work, then I would try a longer barrel length, etc. So with the 3-inch barrel, I shot it here, and it went straight through, no problem. Then I thought, well, maybe that's too close to the edge. So this is at about 5 feet, and this was placed against a mud embankment, essentially. I shot it again here, which is a good distance from the edge in both cases, with the same 3-inch barrel. And again, it went straight through, pushed a hole into the mud at least 5 inches deep, far enough that I couldn't reach to the back of it. I didn't try to dig the bullet out, but I mean, it didn't just bounce off the mud. It put a pretty big inch and a half wide hole in the mud and kept on going. Then I thought to myself, well, maybe the problem here is that these panels are old. You know, they don't work very well anymore. You know, they've been cut up. It was a surplus vest. So I shot it with Winchester M1152, which is a 115 grain full metal jacket round out of the KP9. It's a plus P plus round. I mean, it well exceeds the rating of a level 2 vest, which is what these came out of. And not only did it not go through, it didn't make it through the first one. It put a pretty good dent in there, and you can actually still feel the bullet. So two lessons here. One, these old surplus panels still perform. You know, don't think that just because a panel is expired doesn't mean it's not going to work. And 2, this plus P Fort Scott 9mm ammo will go through an ungodly amount of Kevlar, like way more than you could ever reasonably expect to wear. Next question is accuracy. I tried it at 25 yards and 50 yards. In both cases, I used the KP9 with a red dot and a magnifier. My shooting setup wasn't the best, and, you know, excuses, it was pouring down rain, yada, yada, yada. So I benchmarked it against the M1152, which I found to be a fairly accurate round as 9mm goes, and it's reasonably priced, and so I like to use it as a benchmark when testing 9mm accuracy. I got a group that I'd expect at 25 yards with the M1152. Then I shot the Fort Scott stuff, which printed a very good group, and this up here, which, I don't know, was that me? Was that a raindrop? Who knows? I don't know. But in any case, the group is much higher than the other one, you know, about inch and a half high. So I was like, okay, but this is printing a pretty good group, so I'm going to try it at 50. At 50 yards, I got this group here with the Winchester M1152. Aim point in the middle. This is a larger group than I typically get with this ammo, but it's okay. I got this group with the Fort Scott, which is actually, this is in fact a 5-shot group. This is 3 shots right up here. This is pretty good. But in order to get this group, I had to aim down here. I anticipated that it would shoot high, and boy, did it. So I guess the moral here is that this stuff will print a very good group, but if you're going to shoot it at distance, you definitely have to zero your gun for it, because that's a pretty big disparity. What do I think about this ammo? Well, I got it on sale. I got it at 20% off. So instead of paying $1.40 per round, I paid, $1.10, something like that. It's cool. It's fun to experiment with. I think it kind of makes 5.7 pointless if this stuff costs less money than any of the solid copper 5.7 rounds you can get, and puts out even more kinetic energy out of a 3-inch barrel than 5.7 gets out of a 5-inch barrel. But, that's just me. Thanks for watching.